We're gonna start seated. So I recommend sitting elevated on a folded blanket or towel or cushion. If you find when you sit down that your knees are a lot higher than the tops of your hips, you might want to elevate yourself a little bit higher, stacking maybe more blankets beneath you. And we will be seated for a little bit here at the beginning. You can give yourself additional support, especially if you're sitting up high, by placing, some towels or blankets underneath the outer edges of the legs. Again, we're trying to sit in such a way that's best for us today, and only you really know what's best for your body at any given moment. So please listen to, your system signals throughout the class. And when we're sitting, you don't have to sit cross-legged. You might choose to put your legs straight out in front of you. Some people like to start in bound angle, which is a hip opener, so just be mindful of that. The soles of the feet together, knees can be dropped open. If you really need to, you can sit with the feet to the floor, knees bent, and just sit up tall. So give yourself some grace. Meet yourself where you're at. All right. Sitting tall, closing the eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Another one, deep breath in. Side out. And we take these first few moments to settle into the space. Become aware of the room that you're in. If there are any distractions, allow them to fall to the background. Settle into your body. Feel the air on the skin. And take a moment to acknowledge yourself, that you're here, that you showed up for your practice. And know that doing your best is always enough. And energetically acknowledge each other, your Anahata yoga community, your fellow yogis, your family, your friends, the larger communities that you're a part of, and humanity. Take a moment to feel how we're all connected. And refocus on yourself, your breath. Feel the breath come and go. Breathe through the nose if you can. And let the breath drop down and deepen. The inhale, belly, ribs, chest gently expand. The breath builds up. And as you exhale, release the breath from the top point down. The inhale expands the belly, maybe the ribs and the chest. The exhale, releasing from the top down. The breath slow and steady. And bring the hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll do 3 rounds of Om. You can join, hum, or you can just listen. Let's first inhale together. Let it go. And inhale. Releasing the hands to the lap. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can change the cross of your legs. We'll be here for a little bit longer. And then using one of your hands, the thumb of, let's say, your right hand, so I'll mirror you, and have it press the center of the opposite palm. So this is an acupressure point. Acupressure is an ancient Chinese tradition in using specific points in the body to help potentially alleviate pain, discomforts, move energy. And this particular one in the center of either palm is helpful for emotional balance. So you can hold your hand like this. And again, either hand is fine. So gentle, firm pressure with the thumb to the opposite palm. And you'll see me holding my hands like this. So I'm still pressing the center of the palm, sitting tall. We'll be doing the square breath. Some of you might know this as Samavriti Pranayam. So it's an equal breath of 4 counts on the inhale. This is a variation of Samavriti. So it's 4 counts on the inhale, 4 counts at the top, gently suspending the breath, and 4 counts on the exhale, and then 4 counts gently suspending at the bottom on empty. Okay, so if this isn't for you, that's fine. Just keep hold of the acupressure point, sit tall, and breathe in a way that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, for those of you that are going to do the square breath, or some of you might know it as box breath with me, I'll count for you. All you have to do is follow along with your breathing pattern. And square breath can help in dissolving feelings of stress and anxiety, can have a balancing effect. And if it's not for you, that's completely okay. Make sure to do it with your belly breath or your full deep breath. Sit tall, close your eyes. Let's take a sigh. And then match your breath to my counting whenever you're ready. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Slowly release the counting, release the hands, palms down for rooting and grounding. Few breaths here. Deep breath in, sigh it out. And bring the soles of the feet together, bound angle if you're not already there. And I recommend supporting on the outer edges of the legs. Now continue to sit tall here, top of the head over the pelvic floor. We're using this as a way to relax the hips a little bit, to get into the hips and get into the low back. And now create gentle fists with the hands and use the back of the hands to rub at the low back. So I'll turn around just for a moment so you can see me. So you're using the back of your hands, rubbing at the low back. There's acupressure points here at the low back associated to the kidneys, and the kidneys are said to be what governs fear. And we're working on dissolving fear, releasing fear. So keep rubbing the back of the hands or the knuckles, whatever feels right for you, along the low back. Keep breathing. holding bound angle if you can. If any emotion shows up for you today in class, that's completely fine. Emotion is a movement of energy. Let it move in a safe way. Keep going. A few more breaths here. So you want to feel the heat build up in the low back. Add another breath. Okay. Slowly release the hands. You can stay here sitting upright with the hands at the knees or hinging at the hips, tilting the pelvis forward slightly so your weight is on the front end of the sitting bones. Hands can come to the floor in front of you on the fingertips with the palms lifted as if there's tennis balls underneath the hands. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine, leading forward with the heart. Knees are relaxing away from each other. And breathe. Remember to meet yourself where you're at. Whatever part of the practice you're choosing to do or not do today, most importantly, that you're breathing and that you feel safe. So every steady breath can help us to dissolve feelings of anxiety as well. Signaling to the nervous system it's okay to be calm. Another breath here. And then walk the hands in. And then use the hands to draw the knees together as if closing a book. Separate the feet wider than hips. Toes are pointing relatively forward. Hands go behind you on fingertips, or you can go to the palms. One-legged windshield wipers. Drop the right knee in towards the left ankle. Lift the leg up and do the same on the other side. So it's not about touching the floor. It's just about feeling that movement in the hips. Low back, keep it gentle. Do not push past any safety stops. And keep breathing. All right, so every breath is helping us to move any tension and gripping, helping us to work through anything we might be holding with fear, and giving way for more calm, clarity, and inner strength. All right, so the lower part of the body, the hips, works with grounding and rooting, this whole lower area of the pelvic floor, and we're going to move up towards the solar plexus throughout class, which is related to our inner strength. And come back to center, heel toe the feet in, and then make your way to table, all fours. So you can use one of your blankets across the center of your mat to support the knees. You don't have to. Land your wrists underneath the shoulders, fingers wide, knees underneath the hips. The thigh bones create a number 11. Tops of the feet right now to the floor. Moving from the tailbone. Inhale, tailbone scoops up, belly drops. Feel a gentle stretch across the abdomen. Heart gaze lifts. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, navel hugs in towards the low back and chin to chest. Inhale, tailbone scoops up, belly drops, heart gaze forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin to chest. Keeping your focus at the lower part of the body, the tailbone, the abdomen. So we've worked through rooting and grounding, and now bring our energy, our awareness up towards the solar plexus. Keep breathing and notice how your breath has that connection to the solar plexus as well, right? So if we allow our breath to drop down to the belly, we keep energy moving in that area. Tuck the toes under, the inhale, still cow, belly down. And as you exhale, round the spine, really hug the navel towards the spine today, and then press your hips to heels, taking a gentle bow. Inhale, glide forward, belly drops, heart gaze gently lifts. Exhale, round the spine, hug the navel to the spine, and exhale, hips to heels. Few more. Check in with the quality of your breath. And return up to table. So some of you have been here with me now for a few weeks. We're going to work on our hip release. If it's new for you, just follow along. Untuck the toes, bring the legs in towards midline, closer than the hips. They can touch or not, either is fine. Widen the hands. Draw the low belly in towards the low back for support on the lumbar spine. Relax the heart down, keep the neck holding the head. You're looking about 1 foot in front of the hands on center. Inhale here. As you exhale, hips gently drop towards the left. Keep the knees and hands in contact with the floor. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Elbows can bend if needed. So continuing to move that energy around at the low spine, the lower back, the tailbone. Physically letting tension, gripping dissolve. And when that feels even to you on both sides, return to center, child's pose, big toes touch, knees go wide. You'll notice here I have the blanket for underneath my knees, and it can feel really nice to have the back end of the blanket underneath the tops of the ankles. So I'm draping my feet over that support, sitting back on the heels. If you need space for your knee joint, place a blanket or a pillow between your hips and heels. So you're sitting back and then come forward, forehead to the floor. You can stack your hands underneath the forehead, or if you need to, if you have a yoga block or folded towel, you can put that underneath the forehead. So we want the forehead to have some type of support. Take a sigh breath. Now see if you can allow your belly to relax. And just breathe. Becoming more aware of the abdomen area of the solar plexus. And the solar plexus areas just below the ribs. Keep breathing. Feel the breath come and go. Feel the muscles of the face relax. And with your exhales, allow any apprehensions, anxieties, fears to melt off the body into the earth. Surrender them. Peeling back those layers so that you can anchor yourself in your inner strength. You can stay here longer if you wish. Otherwise, slowly press yourself up to table. Let the breath go as you readjust. Tuck the toes under, working into opposites and balancing. Extend the right leg behind you. I'm doing the same side as you. Level the hips to the floor. Relax the heart down. And then left hand content, so you're lifting the palm as if there's a tennis ball underneath the hand, fingertips stay on the floor. If this is enough, stay here, keep breathing. If you want to go further, lift the right leg and the left arm off the floor. Palm is facing in towards midline, toes are pointing down. And then bring the awareness to the solar plexus. If it's available to you, gentle crunches. Inhale here, and as you exhale, elbow to knee, draw the navel in toward the spine. Do about 2 to 3 more with your breath. Shaking might happen. It's okay if we fall over. We can get back up. That's part of the inner strength. Tapping into that willpower, knowing that we can do this. Lengthen and release. Other side, left leg extends out, level the hips. Right hand can be on the floor in front of you, tented as if there's a tennis ball underneath the palms. Maybe lift the leg, maybe lift the arm. So right arm, left leg. And if you did it on the other side, do it here, about 3 to 4 crunches. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hug it in. Feel that power at your core, at the abdomen. 1 more. Beautifully done. Lengthen and release to table. Return to child's pose. If there's any other stretches you'd like to take here instead, go ahead and take them. Make sure your forehead is supported. And then this time, fingertips are on the floor, palms are lifted off the ground, elbows lifted, underarms are lifted. Relax the belly, relax at the heart space, breathe. About 3 more breaths. Anything that doesn't serve you melts away into the earth where it can be transformed with each outgoing breath. And the hands press into the floor. Inhale, bring yourself up to table. Let the breath go. So we're going to try a side gate variation here and see how it goes. So the right hand goes on midline in front of you. We're building from table. Tuck the toes under and spin the right leg out to the right. You're pivoting on the knee. The left leg extends behind you. Drop the heel in and down. Left hand comes to the hip. So I'm working on the same side as you. And maybe the left arm reaches up to the sky. And if it's in your practice, you can play with lifting the top leg. Keep breathing, right? So through challenge, we breathe. That's one of the ways to keep us connected to our inner strength. Keep the awareness, the thread of breath. Slowly release the leg. If you had it lifted, release the arms to the floor. Return to table. And then we do the other side. Left hand goes into midline, right underneath your gaze, about underneath your mouth, your nose. And left foot pivots out on the knee. Right leg extends out. Right hand to the hip. Maybe right arm to the sky. Part of the inner strength is knowing where your safety stops are and respecting yourself. So wherever you're at, keep breathing. Maybe elevating the right leg. Playing with your balance. Shaking is normal. Another breath. Slowly release the leg, the hand to the floor, return to table, and child's pose. Palms come together, elbows can stay on the floor, and rest the hands at the base of the skull. Relax the belly. Take a sigh breath. Another breath here. And release the hands to the floor. Press yourself up to table. And then as you exhale, come down to seated. Now I'll be doing this part from the side so you guys can see me. I recommend sitting elevated on a little bit of support. You don't have to. You're bending the knees, feet to the floor for a moment. If you are elevated, you might choose to have another bit of support for underneath the knees. Moving the glutes out from underneath you so you're more rooted through the sitting bones. Sit tall. And then bring the right knee in towards the chest. Interlace your hands behind the right thigh. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Sit tall. Heart elevated. Breath moving. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you wish to go further, inhale, extend the right leg forward, pressing out through the heel. Exhale, hug the knee into the chest. Really important here that you keep the spine elongated as you do this. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, bring it in. If it's in your practice, you can hold behind the calf or at the soles of the feet. Few more. Inhale, leg extends. Exhale, bring it in. About 2 more. Good. Squeeze the knee in, extend the leg out, and we do the same now on the other side. Adjust your hips if needed. Bring the left knee in. I'm working on the same side as you. Interlace your hands behind the thigh. Sit tall. Take a moment. When you're ready, inhale, extend, exhale, bend the knee in. And again, if it's in your practice, you can hold behind the calf or at the sole of the foot. So if you find that you're changing where your hands are, let's say you're holding at the calf and you start to round at the ribs, you're compromising your spine, not worth it, then in that case, still keep the hands behind the thigh. Heart is elevated. Another breath. Okay, slowly bend the knee in. Extend both legs out, support the knees as needed. Readjust hips if needed. Hands go behind you and point and flex the feet. Wiggle the toes, bounce the knees, and rock the legs side to side. Now from here, we will be laying down to do a little bit of work for our hips, our low back, and our core. We will sit up again after that, so just keep that in mind. So from here, coming down onto your seat, two ways to come, or onto your back. So two ways to come down. You can use your hands and bring yourself down, or you can bend the knees, arms go up, draw the shoulder blades together, tuck the tailbone, hug the navel toward the spine as we've been doing, and slowly come all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. You can have a little bit of support underneath the head. Just make sure that whatever support you choose right now for underneath the head, that you're not angling the head up too much. You want to try to keep the ears in line with the center of the shoulders to the best of your ability. And then arms by your sides, palms up, knees bent, feet wider than hips, as wide as your mat if you have one for reference. Arms can also go out to letter T or to cactus in either of those variations. Back of the hands to the floor, palms up. And we take windshield wipers. With your exhale, knees fall to the side. Inhale, the knees up. Exhale to the other side. So do this a few more times, going as far as feels safe for you. And knees point up, heel toe the feet in, closer than hip width apart. If they come together at midline, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. And again, sway the knees side to side. So if you need to give yourself safety stops, you can always put support underneath the outer edges of the thighs or the legs if you want to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. And if your legs go down to the floor, as long as that feels okay for you, you can do that as well. Few more. So when we bring our legs in closer like this, we move the twist further up the spine. Okay. Knees point up. Bring the feet in closer. You can stay here or hug the knees into the chest, holding around the shins or behind the thighs. And stay still or rock side to side, further massaging the back. And then come back to center. So for those of you that haven't been in my class in person, this might be new to you. If it is, just give yourself a moment to get used to this. If you're familiar with it, you might know where we're going. So you're going to align your knees over your hips. Now, option one is to just let your feet hang in, as I'm doing here right now. Option two is to have the shins parallel to the floor, toes pointing up. You can also have the legs parallel to each other. So thigh bones create a number 11. Right, so this version is a little bit more intense. This one's a little bit less intense. Now take your hands, making sure the shoulder blades stay underneath the back. You'll press the hands into the thighs and the thighs press back. You create an isometric action here. So thighs and hands are pressing into each other with even pressure. You might see me shaking here. All right, so you're going to feel that work in the abs and the deeper intrinsic muscles. Keep breathing. And release. You can hug the knees in. Take a moment, take a break. All right, second set. Legs parallel to each other, hands to the thighs. Thighs and hands press into each other for a little bit more intensity. You can lift the shins parallel to the floor, toes pointing up, and feet against an imaginary wall. So whichever you're doing is fine. Shaking is okay. We want to feel the work in the core, in the abs, at the solar plexus area. reminding ourselves of our inner strength that we've got this. Another breath. And release, hug the knees in. And make sure you're not holding your breath when you're doing that. If 2 times was enough for you, that's okay. Part of your inner strength is knowing when to say enough is enough for your body, right? To respect yourself. So if you are ready to go into the last set of this, once more, legs parallel, hands connect to the thighs, thighs and hands press into each other with equal pressure. Keep breathing. A light smile is okay. I'm shaking here with you guys. About 3 more breaths. So if I came to pull your knees away, they wouldn't move. That's what you're doing here. All right, release, hug the knees in. Take a sigh. Good work, guys. Good. Take a full body stretch. And then hug the right knee into the chest. And with your inhale, float the left leg all the way up, doing your best to have the leg go vertical, heels pressing up towards the sky. Remember, your best is enough. Inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly release the leg, feeling the work here around the solar plexus area. Inhale, lift up right before the heel touches the floor. And exhale again, slowly release the leg. A few more, you'll feel it in the lower abdomen. Working with our inner strength. And now we switch. Relax the left leg down. Switch legs. Squeeze the left leg in. And inhale, float the right leg up, actively pressing out through the heel. And exhale slowly as you lengthen the leg out through the heel. You're releasing the leg down right before it touches the ground. Lift it up. Keep the jaw relaxed. About 2 more. Nice work. Relax the leg and then hug both knees into the chest. Maybe float the forehead up to meet the knees, curl into a small ball, and then take a full body stretch. Interlace your hands and press the palms away from you. Point the toes. Another breath. And slowly release the arms by your sides. Bend the knees. Remember, this is the part where we're sitting back up. Roll over to your comfortable side in the fetal position. So you can support your head with your bottom arm, your towel, or a blanket. Pause here. And use the strength of your hands to press yourself up to seated. Now, when you come up, we're working into boat pose. So boat pose really helps us to work on the solar plexus area, the core here, and reminding us of our inner strength and abilities. Rooted on the sitting bones. If you choose to, you can put a towel underneath the sitting bones, knees bent, and working with steps towards boat pose first, towards Navasana. So arms can be on the floor. This might be enough, and that's okay. And keep breathing here. Maybe the hands go behind you. Now, if you wish to go a little bit further, you can float the legs off the floor, shins parallel to the floor, heart lifts. Maybe the arms lift. And full Navasana, legs are extended, arms extended forward, heart elevated, and release. That one's a challenging one for me. All right, so we're going to do that again. Sitting bones on the ground. Knees bent. Option 1, hands can be on the floor next to you, in front of you, or behind you. Option 2, maybe start to float the legs off the floor, shins parallel to the ground. Maybe the arms lift. You might have some shaking. Keep breathing. Maybe the legs extend out. You can also hold behind the thighs if you need to. Whew. 2 more breaths. And slowly release. Release the hands behind you, heart up. And if I'm pronouncing boat pose wrong, I apologize. It might be Navasana or Navasana. I'll find out later. All right, one more, guys. When you're ready, go into the variation that works for you. So our boat pose reminding us that we can move with the waves. We let the waves come, we let the waves go. We're anchored in our inner strength. Another breath. Beautifully done. Release the feet. Sit tall. Hands can go behind you. Now, if it's available to you, let the palms land to the floor. Fingertips point towards the hips. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other and point the toes. Another breath here. And relax the legs, sit up tall. Hands can stay behind you or in line with the hips, bounce the knees. And then from here, return to lying on your back. You can again use your hands to bring yourself all the way down or arms up by your sides. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, feet to the floor. Tuck the tailbone, hug the navel to the spine, 1 vertebra at a time, lowering yourself all the way down. And then you can support your neck here, your head, arms by your sides. And then bring the feet in towards midline, setting up for a twist. Press down through the feet, float the hips up and to the right, lower hips down, and then drop the knees to the opposite direction to the left. So this helps to keep the spine in line, top of the head still working to be in line with the pelvic floor. You can stay here or pivot your head on the neck so your gaze goes opposite of the knees. The arms can be by your sides, letter T with the back of the hands to the floor, or cactus with the palms up, depending on how that feels for your shoulders and your availability of space. Our twist helping us to wring out whatever else might be coming up to the surface that doesn't serve us. Let it go with your exhales. Twist can also have a neutralizing effect on our system with our emotions. And other side. Inhale, come back to center, readjust the hips, let the breath go. And the feet in towards midline, towards each other. Press down through the feet, float the hips up, glide the hips to the left, lower hips down, knees to the right. And gaze can go opposite of the knees. Breathe. Feel yourself beginning to slow down. So if you ever find yourself anxious, high energy, you're wanting to bring that down a few notches, twists are said to be beneficial in that. If you find yourself feeling lethargic, low energy, kind of down, taking a twist is said to help bring the energy up a little bit. Another breath. And come back to center. Readjust the hips, hug the knees into the chest. And full body stretch. Release the arms by your sides and grab one of your supports here. It might be a folded blanket. And fold the blanket so it looks something like this. So hopefully you can see your screen. Building supported bridge. You'll press down through the feet. Lift the hips and bring that support underneath the hips. So you want to feel the hips supported. And we're not doing this at the low back. So low back has space here. And then you can either stay with the knees bent, feet to the floor, or you can extend the legs all the way out in front of you. So coming into the variation that feels good for you. If you want your hips higher, that's fine. You can stack more of your support underneath the hips, taking our restorative bridge. So we'll be here for a few minutes before Shavasana. See if you can relax the spine, the abdomen, feel the hips supported, and relax into your breath. I'll be playing the bowls. Attention back to the breath. From our bridge pose, we'll be moving into Shavasana, into our final rest here. So I'll just demonstrate for those of you not familiar with coming out of this. You do want to be really cautious about moving your head side to side, being in restorative bridge. But I'll show you just in case you're watching. You'll press down through the feet, float the hips up, move the support out from under you, and then lower the hips back down. So from here, you can do windshield wipers, take any other stretches that you need. And then make yourself as comfortable as possible using your eye pillow or your face towel as an eye pillow, covering up in your favorite blanket. Maybe putting pillows or blankets underneath the knees, letting the legs relax out in front of you. And as you do relax the legs, they will naturally flop open. So that's one of the ways to know that you're releasing that physical effort of holding the muscles and the gripping, is when you feel the feet flop open away from each other. You'll notice as you relax the arms, the fingers will naturally curl in. So just let yourself decompress here. So we work today in our practice through dissolving feelings of fear and anchoring ourselves in our inner strength. We'll bring our attention to your belly breath. And for the next few cycles, breathe with conscious awareness, feeling the navel float up towards the ceiling or the sky. As you inhale, feel the navel drop down as you exhale. Every breath reminding you that you are capable, that you have all that you need within, that you are strong. Release now any effort with the breath and let the breath move on its own. And enjoy savasana, your conscious rest. just returns to the breath. Into the body. Before moving, just become aware of your body, aware of the space that you're in. And see if you can breathe into that space that surrounds you. And then begin the slow awakening, wiggling toes and fingers, keeping the eyes closed, pointing and flexing feet, opening and closing the hands, maybe rocking the head side to side. You can take windshield wipers or hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe a full body stretch. And then roll over to your comfortable side in the fetal position. Take care to support your head. Deepen the breath here. Remembering that through the waves of life that come and go, we are anchored in our strength. You are strong. If it's comfortable for you, repeat that to yourself internally. I am strong. I am capable. I am strong. When you feel ready, keeping the eyes closed, slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. And bring the hands together at heart center. And from our place of inner strength, we close with the single sound of Om. Receive your breath. Om. Bowing head to heart in honor of each other, ourselves, and this practice. Such a pleasure to be here with you guys, even through online streaming. To remember that we are connected. And beautiful to work with all of you guys on dissolving fear and anchoring ourselves in our inner strength. May you have a beautiful evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow for restorative. Namaste.